sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
A better way to pay your UTG fees with instant proof of payment and real-time student portal update. Paying your University of the Gambia fees has never been easier or more convenient. With EcoBank, students, parents and guardians can pay UTG tuition and related fees through our secure digital banking channels such as EcoBank mobile app, EcoBank online and EcoBank Omni Lite. Once payment is completed, instant proof of payment is generated and the UTG student portal is updated in real time, allowing students to proceed immediately with registration, course selection, and clearance without unnecessary delays, while giving parents and guardians peace of mind that payments have been successfully processed. How to pay via the EcoBank mobile app. Open the EcoBank mobile app and navigate to the home screen. Select Pay Bill. Choose Pay a New Bill and select Schools from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. How to pay via EcoBank Online or Omni Lite. Log in to EcoBank Online and Omni Lite using your credentials. Select the menu and choose Bill Payments. Choose Quick Bill Pay and select School from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Walk into any EcoBank branch or pay through our digital channels and enjoy instant proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Tuesday, the 9th of June, 2026. I have a very busy, very crowded table, if you like. I just received this. This is a gift from my good friend, Dr. Ismail Ceesay. He was out of town last week. That's why you didn't hear him on the program. This is a Golden Secret perfume. Okay, we'll try it. This is also a gift from him. Yeah? This is the Mansakunda magazine, the Gambia Strategic Leap Forward. This is the latest edition. Yeah, we're doing everything to sell President Barrow for his re-election bid. And yesterday, Monday, I had two gifts. First, some sow, curdled milk from Larry Ceesay. He was on the program. You heard him yesterday. And from Sao Paulo. This is my most cherished gift of the lot, because this is a beautiful, beautiful Liverpool FC tumbler. And whereas I used to take 2 cups of coffee in different Liverpool cups, now I just need this filled up and I'm okay for the day. So thank you very much, Sao Paulo. He lives in Texas. Met him for the first time yesterday when he brought this gift. So, yeah, it's really nice to know that there are people who appreciate what we do every morning. So, yeah, all that 4 a.m. rise every morning is well worth it. Okay, so I've rambled on now for 2 minutes, just showing some of my gifts. For the next hour or so, we focus on a government under pressure, facing crises that touch every Gambian household and business. At the port of Banjul, congestion has been worsened by a lightning strike, freezing cargo and raising urgent questions about management and compliance. On the roads, motorists continue to grapple with the shortage of new number plates, a problem that has dragged on with mounting frustration. And of course, the elephant in the room. Across the grid, NAWEC's electricity crisis has evolved from inconvenience into a national emergency, threatening water supply, crippling businesses, straining communications, and eroding public trust. Well, against this backdrop, we have, as I said earlier on, the Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting, my good friend, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, for his weekly appearance, of course. He joins us to address these pressing issues, explain government response, and outline what Gambians can expect in the days ahead. Good to see you.
Good morning, Peter.
Very nice jacket.
Thank you.
Where were you last week?
Last week.
You were not here.
Last week I was away.
We brought in, your fellow spokesperson.
Yes, and he did a fantastic
job. The actual government spokesperson.
Yes,
he did a great job. All right, welcome back. You always start with updates, so let's see the updates.
Good morning. And the first update is from the Office of the President, informing the public that the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, commissioned the Gambia's first National Food and Drug Quality Control Lab in Brussels. This event took place last week, Friday. Now, this facility is expected to strengthen food and medicine safety through local testing and certification, improve consumer protection, and support the government's development under the URA. We all know that when we import food and medicine and cosmetic products, normally they are tested outside the jurisdiction of the Gambia because we didn't have this facility and infrastructure. And we all remember the AKI tragedy, which partly was caused by the lack of testing facilities in this country. And as such, the government has built a brand new facility that can test food products when they come into this country to ensure they are fit for purpose and are fit for human consumption, test medicinal products, but also cosmetic products to ensure that they are also fit for human consumption. All this geared towards promoting healthcare in this country. This facility is a state-of-the-art facility at Brussels Beton Table, and it was inaugurated by His Excellency the President.
So those who criticize infrastructure building need to think again.
Yes, I mean, I've argued here before and I'll argue again that the basis for any transformative development is infrastructure. It is the basis. Even as a human being, if you want, the first thing you do is to build a house, to have your own house and live in it. So infrastructure is key. Now, the Office of the Vice President also informs the public that His Excellency Mohammed B.S. Jallow departed for Beijing last week, the People's Republic of China, to represent the Gambia at the 2026 Forum on Global Human Rights Governance. The engagement demonstrated Gambia's commitment to human rights, sustainable development, global dialogue, and international cooperation. He's currently in China and should be back this week. The Minister of Petroleum also informs the public that the government of the Gambia has signed a petroleum exploration, development, and production license agreement for offshore Block A with ENI Gambia Limited. The agreement is expected to strengthen offshore petroleum exploration and attract investment in the energy sector. I mean, we're all talking about whether Gambia has petrol or not. This Block A has been, a company called ENI has been given the license to explore Block A, and hopefully they'll find something.
So it's to prove whether we have
exactly
petroleum deposits or not.
It's an exploration.
Okay.
Exploration means you explore. It's for exploitation. So once you exploit, it's there. Now you go on to give the license for them to exploit, and we start selling, and money starts to drizzle in.
All right. Well, we'll all
the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure announced through the Gambia Ports Authority that staff welfare concerns involving GPA and Alport have been addressed thoroughly. Final resolution has been, they were there the whole weekend, senior government officials and ministers. The negotiations went very smoothly and successful, and the problem is finally resolved. And they came up with resolutions that had consensus among both parties, which focused on salary payments, improved staff benefits, loan disbursements, and implementation of agreed human resource measures. So that problem is not a problem anymore. It is resolved.
You're sure about it?
It is resolved. Okay. I spoke with some GPA staff yesterday, and I spoke with the minister himself this morning before I came here, and I was assured that it has been resolved. Okay. And hopefully we won't hear anything coming from that end.
That's what we'd like to hear. Right?
Yes. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad informs the public that the fourth session of the Senegalo-Gambian Presidential Council meeting, otherwise called the PCM, will be held in Dakar from 9 to 12 June in Senegal. The meeting, which is the highest bilateral cooperation platform between the two countries, will bring together senior officials, ministers, and heads of state of the Gambia and Senegal to review progress and strengthen collaboration across key sectors, including trade, security, energy, education, transport, culture, and regional integration. This event is supposed to take place from the 9th of this month to the 12th. And His Excellency the President will depart to Dakar, I think on Thursday, to attend this meeting. If you could recall, the last one was in 2023, which was held in the Gambia here from the 30th of August to the 1st of September. So they alternate. This time it is in Senegal that we will be in. Is
it annual or biannual?
I think it should be, because the last one was in 2023.
Yeah.
So I suspect it is every 3 years or 2 years. I'm not sure. I don't think it's annual, because the last one was in the Gambia in 2023.
Before that
and we're in 2026. I can't recall that one. Okay. Yeah. But just to inform the public that this is going to happen. The Ministry of Youth and Sports also announced the renewal of senior national team head coach Jonathan McKenzie's contract for an additional 2 years in a press release. The decision reflects continued commitment to football development and preparations toward AFCON 2027 qualification. So his contract has been extended.
And what is the condition?
I don't have the details of those conditions, but I think one of the conditions is for him to qualify for the AFCON.
Exactly. I mean, the word patient and patience, has been doing the rounds this week. I think we've been very patient with him.
So I think he's one of the conditions. He must qualify for the AFCON.
Yeah.
That is nothing less than that.
Yeah, the next round.
And Ministry also of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services successfully hosted.
You say my ministry.
Well, it's not my. It's your ministry. I'm here to work for you. Okay, we hosted the second edition of the Mansakunda Ministerial Town Hall, featuring the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The event brought together stakeholders, media practitioners, young people, and the public for meaningful engagement with the minister and his entire team through a dialogue. It also marked the launch of the first edition of the Mansakunda magazine, which I just gave to you, but also the Yoruba documentary series, which was also premiered on that day. And the minister was there with his team and interfaced with the public. We played the documentary, which showed the achievements of the sector over the past 8 years, but also then opened the floor for Q&A, where the public interface with the minister, asking the minister questions from sports to youth development to entrepreneurship to employment.
What were some of the questions, some of the salient questions?
Most of them revolve around sports.
Particularly youth development.
Most of them revolve around sports,
particularly
football, about the stadium, about investments in the national team. There are those who ask questions about youth in the digital space. What support is there for young people?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
It's there.
No, it's a shame that usually when you have forums that discuss youth development, it's all about sport and only football.
In fact, Anti-Ami intervened and said, "Why is everyone asking about football?"
Exactly. No, invariably, the conversation around youth development is always about Nawetan, is the senior national team, the male team. It's, the situation of the stadium.
In fact, most of the questions focused on football and the stadium. Activity. Yeah, exactly. But then the director of press, Anti-Ami, was there, and she really took the floor and said, "Hey,
well done her.
It's not about sports alone. Yeah. What about you young people in agriculture? What is the Ministry for Young People in Agriculture?"
When, the country's youth, when they talk about, youth being marginalized, when youths are given the opportunity, all they think about is football, the stadium, So there are other things. Talk about education. I thought, that should have been the most important thing,
Actually, what we realized also that youth issues are cross-cutting. investments in higher education is investments in young people. Remember, government gives 60% of the scholarships to UTG scholarships.
So the point I'm making is, when youths gather to talk about youth development, all right, and how government can contribute, they almost invariably always look at what's the situation of the stadium? What's the situation with our national team?
Yep, I agree with you. That is why one of the questions from one young person was that he summarized the ministry's entire performance on the stadium to say the ministry has failed over the past 8 years because we cannot still play in the stadium. And the minister was like, you cannot do that because there are many...
Yet go to all the private sectors, all the businesses in the private sectors, they would have stacks of solicitation letters, requests for scholarships. I have this, and this, but my parents cannot sponsor my education. Now, when you have the Minister of Youth there, why don't you bring up these issues? More scholarships for Gambian youths, more job opportunities even, or opportunities to learn different trades.
And we are doing all that.
I think that
I think the minister highlighted some of the achievements in terms of the vocational training institutes we have created across the country. And the scholarships we are giving to UTG students, almost 60% of the students are on government scholarship at UTG. We've built multi-purpose vocational training institutes across the country. We've also building specialized multi-purpose training institutes in agriculture, in aquaculture across the country. The chairman facility also is training young entrepreneurs, helping them with the skills they need to go into the agricultural sector.
The Chairman Health Center.
Not the health center. All right, so we move on to the next point. Yesterday I was listening to your program. I didn't listen to the full program because I was in and out of meetings, but things that caught my attention, I'd like to really raise them. One was when I had my uncle.
Oh, he's your uncle?
Well, we're all Ceesay.
You're both Ceesay.
Yeah, we're all Ceesay. I really enjoyed this show. Very eloquent man.
He does his research well.
Yes, but I think this time he got the basics wrong.
He got the basics wrong?
Yes, on two issues which I'd like to pinpoint. One has to do with GDP growth and per capita, even though these two are related but not identical. His argument was that they projected Gambian economy to grow by 7%, according to him, what he said yesterday. But this does not reflect in GDP per capita, that is per person. And I think what he needs to understand, and this is basic economics, and he's an economist, I think this is something that he should have known, is that strong economic growth does not automatically alleviate poverty. Economy can grow by 7, 8, 10%. It does not automatically reflect per capita per citizen. Why? Because sometimes few things can happen. One, population growth can outpace economic growth. That is at the macroeconomic level. Bring it to the microeconomic level. If you have a household and the household income increased by, let's say, 10%, at the same time also the household population has increased by 5%, you would not feel the impact of the increase of the household income immediately. Because why? There are many things that the household will be doing. Yes, you can be able to, because when population increase in the household, it means more money go to healthcare, because people will get sick in the household, more for school fees, more for feeding, more for this. So therefore, there will not be extra money to go for holidays, as you were saying. That Gambians are getting money, they get money to eat, but they're not getting money to go for holidays. Even in the Western developed countries, in the OECD countries, how many citizens can afford to go on holidays at the end of the year? You can count them. So population growth, normally GDP growth doesn't always reflect in per capita growth. Now, another issue has to do with, apart from population growth, it has to do with what? Growth takes time to reach ordinary citizens. Why? Because of investments in infrastructure, in energy, in construction, in tourism, in agriculture, and investments. So therefore, sometimes you can see a country posting huge and expansive growth figures, but it doesn't reflect on per capita because these sectors create the foundations for job, expansion of the economy, but also provide roads, electricity. It's like, again, come to the micro level. Consumption, income levels have risen at your house, but you are investing in building a boys' quarter because population is growing. Mm-hmm. You are investing in NAWEC to pay for the NAWEC. You are investing in this. So sometimes it wouldn't reflect also on your citizens. So for me, the most important thing is that we need to focus on in terms of this growth is let's ask these questions, which I think are pertinent questions. Do we have more roads today than 15 years ago?
That's a yes. That's a definite yes.
Do you have more electricity access today than 15 years ago?
Well, more communities are being connected.
It means yes. Do you have more schools and hospitals today than 15 years ago?
Positive.
Yes. Are there more foreign direct investment today than 15 years ago? Yes.
I'm not sure.
Of course. I mean, 15 years ago, what were advertisement portfolio?
What is that foreign investment?
It's because people are investing in this country. Investors are coming into this country. Businesses are blooming, are growing. The economy is expanding.
All my advertising partners are local businesses.
No, but Wave is an external business.
Well, okay.
And also the local business grew because of foreign direct investment is coming and the value chain it creates. So therefore today we have more FDI. In fact, there's empirical data to that to say that Gambia's FDI has increased in fact more than quadrupled. I can remember the figures. Now, do we have better telecom services today? Yes. Do we have better banking system, better banking access today? Yes. Do we have increased public sector salaries? Yes. Do we have more social programs today? Yes. So it means that the impact of the growth of the economy has been felt significantly in this country because of these positive indicators that I've just named. And then another thing he also mentioned, which I would like to also focus on, and I'm glad that he gave Botswana as an example.
What about Botswana?
He said that when Botswana faced a similar crisis, what they did was to bring the international partners together and came up with a roadmap. And within 18 months, they were able to solve the energy crisis in Botswana. And today, Botswana is all lit. Now, there are some issues I have with that. One, this is exactly what the Gambia has done. When we realized the energy crisis, when this government took over, we brought partners like the World Bank to work together with them and the European Investment Bank to come up with a roadmap to solve the crisis. That is why today, we've just launched the WASIP water project in Sifo, which will give water to over 1 million urban Gambians very soon. The project is ongoing. Whereas while we're also working with the World Bank to build 150 megawatt solar plant in Soma, which when it comes, Gambia will have surplus electricity. We started with 50, so the contract will be signed very soon. They will scale it up to 150 megawatts. It means we are doing something about it. It's not like we are sitting and doing nothing. We are doing something about it. If it takes Botswana 18 months to do it, then it is also taking us something like that. But even if you come to
it's taking us much longer.
No. What I'm saying is that
this roundtable with the World Bank must have taken place in the first.
No,
years
but
of
remember the procurement. Sometimes you have very little over the procurement process. Procurement process, particularly with the World Bank, is a very stringent processes you have to follow. If it's that you just go to the shelf and buy solar plants and just fix it.
It's the 18-month timeline.
No, but even Botswana's problem is not solved. Botswana still faces energy outages. That's what I'm talking about. And if you look at Botswana, it did not solve the crisis overnight. In fact, it still faces challenges today. And he gave Botswana as an example, a country where we even have more access than them. They're at 78% access. And we're at 90% access.
Have we reached 90%?
Yeah, of course, we've reached 90%. Okay. And also, the advantage with Botswana is that Botswana has many mineral resources. They have diamond, they have silver, they have uranium, they have strategic metals. Botswana has resources, and Botswana has been able to create a stable environment for over 58 years. The Botswana Democratic Party was in power since 1966 independence. And that is what Gambians is. That is why we're urging Gambians to vote for President Barrow to maintain that stability. Because stability is important. A stable government brings development. That is why we are saying, and Botswana has many resources, like I said, coal, copper, nickel, diamonds, gold, silver, rare earth and critical minerals. They have all this. And yet today, If you look at the figures, and
DRC has more, yet they are
but he gave Botswana as example. That's what I'm talking about. And then Botswana today. Let's just compare. He is saying Botswana has succeeded, but we are better than Botswana because why? Botswana today have only 76-77% access for the population for electricity. That is one. And they do not have universal access of electricity yet. And we are ahead of Botswana. Two, Botswana also imports electricity from South Africa.
Yeah, because
they still do it. Exactly. And people are telling them not to import, like all countries do it. And when the president came out to say...
Nobody's saying don't import.
No, what I'm saying is that... And Botswana has faced shortages because why? They're heavy dependence on the power station which has been having technical problems. And they're still facing those technical... So Botswana is not a good example to take. And today, Botswana is doing load shedding. They have unplanned blackouts. And they do power rationing as we speak. And he gave Botswana as an example that we should emulate as a country. And we're even better than Botswana. Because today Botswana also, even though they are investing a lot, today 50% of their generation is solar energy, but they also have to follow a roadmap that we are also following, and very soon we will also do it. So by and large, Botswana's power system is still not considered to be fully stable at the level of highly industrialized country that we could use as an example, because we are better off than Botswana. They import electricity from South Africa, we import from the region. And when the president came out yesterday to say, or 2 days on Friday to say, Gambia also exports electricity, people were questioning that. We do export.
Who do we export electricity to?
To Senegal. We swap. There are areas in Senegal which are closer to Gambia. When we have support during the day, we give. And then later on, we balance it. And we pay them we balance and do the payments. We normally export. We normally give, we don't export in like large scale. We are not large scale export of electricity. But at least sometime during the day, when Senegal needs for some of their villages around Gambia, it's cheaper for them to buy from Gambia. And you do swap. So we have what they call the West African electricity. Yeah, go on.
So, what electricity do we sell to these people? The same electricity that we are getting from Senegal?
Remember also, we have a 23 megawatt solar plant here. And sometimes, our generators also, sometimes they were working. It's just that now that they are on maintenance. So sometimes we have some electricity that we have surplus during the day that Senegal needs. And we give it, they also swap. We swap. So what we have in the Gambia, we are connected to the regional power pool, the West African power pool, which is OMVG. And sometimes what happens is that electricity can flow in both directions between Senegal and Gambia. And this is normal. It happens in many parts of the world. So what we do sometimes, and this is a fact, it's not like this is a story, it's a fact that sometimes in small quantities, when Senegal needs during the day sometimes, when we had enough electricity, we used to give to Senegal, particularly in the villages that are adjacent to the Gambia. It's cheaper for them to get from Gambia than to transmit all the way from Dakar. So this is quite normal. There is nothing with that. For now, like I said, Peter, electricity, yes, we are all facing the same challenge. It's a challenge that nobody anticipated, and I think NOWES has come out and we apologize to the Gambian people. This is not what we want. Like I said in the press conference, had we had our wish, we would make sure every Gambian has electricity uninterrupted. This is what we want, because this is good for us politically as well. But these are technical challenges that we didn't anticipate, and it has happened. And we are working day and night to make sure this issue is resolved. And I hope that by the mid of the month to the 20th, this issue will be resolved.
You referenced the president's mentioning that we also export electricity to parts of Senegal. Actually, his first public comments seem to have angered a lot of people, especially because people just thought that he was out of touch. I wasn't there when he was making the alleged remarks that for 2 years we literally enjoyed, uninterrupted electricity supplies. After 2 weeks, everybody is complaining. A lot of people said it just proved that he was out of touch.
No, he wasn't out of touch. That's the fact. He was not out of touch. That is the fact. And
should he have said it that way?
No, but he didn't. I mean, he didn't say it the way they are saying it. He's just making the point. He's just giving context. That,
how did he say it?
He was like, look, for 2 years we've been doing everything to make sure Gambians have electricity. Yeah. Now we have a challenge for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Be patient.
How is that different from what I just said?
No, that's what I'm saying. But that doesn't mean he's out of touch. That doesn't mean he's out of touch. That's the fact. I mean, anybody can say that. And, people politicize everything the president said. And that is the problem we're having in this country, that whatever he says, we politicize. What is wrong with that statement? To say, look, we've been doing everything to give electricity. In fact, we've not been only giving electricity for 2 years. We've expanded access across the country to 90% of the population. We've done that, and now we have 2 weeks challenge, and we are saying be patient, we'll resolve it. What's wrong with that? That doesn't mean he's out of touch. That is the fact. He's just giving context.
Okay. I can understand why you would, emphasize access. Mm-hmm. It doesn't come cheap. And whatever government puts in anything, that's not government putting. That is the people. All right, it's taxpayers. So we see a lot of money go into all these expansion projects and whatever and all of that. And still, we are moaning about a problem that will be 50 years old next year. All right? And your government would have contributed at least 11 years to that 50-year-old problem.
But if you recall, before 2017, we've added over 50 megawatts to the grid as a government. And I think that's a significant progress. Now, and we realized that, look, we have a West African power pool where we buy and sell electricity. And sometimes, to make it cheaper for the population per kilowatt hour, it's better for us to buy import electricity. It's like, for example, today, you focus on buying rice, locally grown rice. If it's more expensive, it's cheaper for you to import rice. That's what they call comparative advantage. There are countries that can produce cheaper electricity than us. And nothing is wrong with us from buying from them. It's called international trade. Now, we buy from them at a cheaper rate so that our population can get cheaper electricity. Otherwise, we will have the burden of producing electricity on our own in the short term. But our long-term plan is to be energy secure. That is, our long-term plan is to build the 150 megawatts in summer and other projects to make sure in the long term we are... But in the short term, very short term, yes, we need to do something about it. What do we do? And energy is capital intensive, and it's a long-term project. You don't just go to the shelf and just pick and come and fix it. No. You need to plan it. It has to go through different stages. Now, we have a problem. In the short term, what do? We brought car power. It was a big burden, very expensive on our public finances. Now, we saw an opportunity to buy from the international electricity power pool from Senegal and Guinea, which is far cheaper, so that we don't have to increase the kilowatt power for our population. We started buying from it. But in the meantime as well, in the medium term, we're building our own infrastructure internally. So in the medium to long term, we would stop buying from it. That is what is happening. Now, while this is happening at the same time, then there's a technical problem in Senegal and Guinea that we buy from. And they are trying to resolve it. We'll resolve it. But like I said, it's not that we have been negligent or incompetent. That is not the case. The case is that we were trying to do two things at the same time. Find a short-term solution, which, not being a burden on our public finances and our population, is to buy from the international West African power pool, Senegal and Guinea, which is cheaper for us. At the same time, building infrastructure and the projects to make sure that we are also energy self-sufficient, which is in line with our green transition in the medium to long term. That is ongoing.
I think in this conversation we need honesty.
Yeah.
We need to be honest. Central government needs to be honest. NAWEC needs to be honest. Consumers need to be honest. If we were still at the point that we were in terms of local production, just before we started buying from Senegal, Guinea, and saying goodbye to car power, the situation would have been more tolerable than it is now. But the fact is, Kotu was allowed to rot away.
No, that is not what happened. So what happened was that the reason why they stopped the contract with car power was that the plans
I'm talking about Kotu.
I'm coming.
I'm talking about Kotu.
I'm talking about Kotu. I'm coming to Kotu.
No.
And Brikama.
My point is local production.
That's what I'm talking about.
If it was, at the point where,
yes,
when we were saying goodbye to car power,
yes,
and going to, if it was still at that point.
So what happened was that there were plans to revive
this situation more tolerably.
No, what happened was that there were plans to revive Kotu and Brikama power station. That is why because
Revive?
local production.
So
not
which means
revive.
that
What
Putin was allowed to
what I'm
die
saying
off.
is there were plans to rehabilitate them so they can come and give electricity to the Gambian people. But there was something that didn't happen at that time because of spare parts and so many different technical issues that didn't happen. But the bottom of the matter is that we are doing everything possible, Peter, to make sure we resolve the issue as soon as possible. This is an inconvenience that all of us have to really be patient with. And like I said,
does Barrow have the same inconvenience?
Every Gambian is facing the same
Does
inconvenience.
Barrow have the same inconvenience?
You think the president will sleep at night when he knows that some Gambians don't have electricity? He doesn't sleep at night. It's something. It's a burden.
Does he have the same inconvenience?
Of course, yeah, because a burden on
Power
him.
goes on and off as it does.
What I'm saying
at State
is that,
House, as it does
it's a
elsewhere-
burden on
elsewhere.
him to know that many Gambians are complaining about electricity. It's a burden on him. It's a big burden on him, and it weighs him down. It weighs him down to know that there's an electricity issue in this country. It weighs him down. It's a big burden for him.
Well, we're glad to hear that.
Sometimes I can be here, there's light, but I'm not feeling the light because I have something bothering me, and that is what is happening to the president right now.
I hope you're feeling that there is light in the studio, and it's coming from the generator.
When I come here, is when I enjoy light. At home, I don't enjoy light.